Good morning, Zoom land. Can you hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. All right.
Morning, everyone. Morning. And I've been instructed that do not start talking before you have a moment of silence. So let us have a moment of silence as we begin our meeting this month. Thank you very much. And welcome everyone. Everybody here is present here and feeding off our goodies for our breakfast goodies here, which is the advantage of showing up early and showing up in person here. But I also want to welcome all our people in Zoom land, the ones who couldn't make it here today. We're happy to see everybody here to participate. First thing I want to do is introduce any new people here. I know Jack and Margie Page. Are they in the audience? Jack and Margie Page.
I think they're still on.
They didn't show up. They moved in and they don't show up. The word is not getting, marketing, it did not get the word out. When you move in here, you gotta show up. How about Karen Waters and John McGran? Are they here? They moved in a couple of months ago, but then they went off on vacation, so they weren't here either. Is anybody, any new resident here that has never, this is the first meeting? Who? Yeah, forget Ted.
I'm very rude. I've never been introduced.
Thank you for coming. Well, as we always start out, we'll have, yes, sir. Yeah, your name? Welcome. We do have seats in front. You know, when you're new, you have to sit in front. We saved the back seats for the old timers. And you can see some of the old timers are back there, but the new people have to sit up in front to fill up these empty seats here. So, but anyway, we'll start out with the update by our Chief Executive Officer, Jan. But today, Jan is not only acting as the chief, she is the Chief Executive Officer, she's acting as the Chief Financial Officer as well. She's the acting IT Director as well. She's also the acting Director of Operations as well. I just can't believe she sent her staff away. We have this very important meeting every month. We come here to listen to your complete staff and you ship them off to Pennsylvania, to Florida, whatever. So now, if you have any problems, in any area of Kendall, she's the person to talk to. But anyway, welcome, Jan.
Thank you, Paul.
And your time is as much time as you want.
Oh, Paul, I think you missed your calling in Hollywood. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? This mic does not seem to be going out. You can hear me okay. Hello, Zoom land. All right. So I do have a couple of things to go over. Felicia and Greg and Harold are in Delaware at the new University of Delaware at the new offices for K-Corp. And they are having a gathering. So I need to talk with K-Corp about pulling our CFO and our IT people off the campus at the same time. But I do have some good news, and I'd like to introduce all of you to Pete McBrien. Pete is our interim Director of Facility Services. He officially started with us yesterday as Herbie departed. So this is Pete. And for those in Zoom land, you'll just have to take my word that he did stand up and wave to everybody. So we sure do appreciate Pete's willingness to come out of retirement. He is an avid fisherman and he is giving up time on the seas to be with us. And he will be here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays each week. For the next 4 to 6 weeks. That depends on when we can fill the position. And I am hopeful that I will be sharing some good news with you either later today or tomorrow. on that position, the Director of Facility Services. So emergency after hours calls. As you know, Herbie used to carry his phone along with the emergency phone, and he doesn't do that anymore. So we have a little change of plan. An email memo went out yesterday. I hope everyone saw that. There is a new format that we're going to be using. We are going to ask the residents not to call the emergency after hours phone. The guys are taking turns carrying that each week. And the problem with you calling them directly is really because of cell phone service. Some guys get better cell phone service than others. Some live more up in the boonies than others. So we are concerned that your phone call will not get through, especially if it's an emergency after hours call. So that memo did state that you will call Borden for your after hour maintenance emergencies. Can someone give me an example of an after hours emergency? Yes, Anita.
My toilet is overflowing in the bathroom and moving out into the hallway.
Yeah, that could be. That could definitely be. Most of the time they just get clogged. So if you have another toilet, that would not be considered an emergency. But if it's overflowing into the hallway, yeah, that's a problem. So I just want you to be a bit graceful over the next few weeks as we make this transition and what you consider emergency. HVAC and heat would obviously be, but if you notice that it's not working during the day, we would much prefer you to let us know then than at 10 o'clock at night. So any questions about that at all? So the guys will be carrying it, but Borden will be the one contacting the guys to make that decision. Okay, my next two updates, I'm gonna feel a bit like a mother. So our audio visual system is down. And it's down because of human error. So someone deleted the software off of this unit. And the people that are coming to fix it can't even figure out how you did that. So I'm not sure, I guess the lesson learned here is if you don't know what you're doing, don't touch the system, please. And if you get a message that asks, are you sure? And you're not, don't do it. So we are having someone come in to get this fixed, but it's probably going to cost us money to do that. And that's not ever a good thing. And then again, I mean, I have to state the fact that we have continued issues with missing China. And I'm giving you the news because Judy does not find it funny anymore. So she is constantly having to order more China, and that is your cost. So please do not remove any dishes for any reason from the dining room. And, you know, as I say, you may be entitled to food, but you're not entitled to the dishes. So just, what's that? Oh, also cups and tumblers. So we have a lot of those things missing. So we're going to have one of those things like the police do, where you can return your plates and your tumblers, no questions asked. We won't even look when you're putting them on the table, Paul. And we will forgive you right off the bat. So, all right. Any questions about anything that I covered on that? Yes.
Are you quite sure that staff is not responsible for the missing plates and cups and saucers and so on?
Well,
do you routinely check in the cleaning, housekeeping and up in the nursing stations to
Yes.
see if they have?
yes, because we are up and about there. Yes. So, yes, I'm blaming it all on you. But Judy stays after the staff pretty well. Actually, someone was going to take one of the people that sit at the table there when we're all eating, the staff was going to take something. And I said, do not remove that plate. And he looked at me and I said, put it on paper or put it on a napkin. So he did. It worked. So, okay, now I'm gonna be Felicia. Hey, everybody, it's budget time. And I am so excited because I love budgeting. You know I love it. So there's two annual components to our budget, and that's our operating budget and our capital budget. The operating budget is for our day-to-day operations, where we look at revenue and expenses. And the expenses include wage and benefits, food in the dining room, china in the dining room, lawn maintenance, building upkeep, interest on debt, software licenses for all the computer hardware, and office supplies. Second piece is the capital budget. Capital purchases are items that cost over $1,000 and have a useful life of greater than 1 year. So this includes equipment, buildings, vehicles, and furniture. We also capitalize cottage and apartment renovations as well. So the budget process begins with developing and distributing a budget calendar, which she has already done. And those dates include meetings with the staff and the managers on their particular budgets. Next, we obtain input from residents through a budget request form. I do believe that those copies went out on August 9th. Please complete it and return it by no later than Wednesday, August 24th. So if you have suggestions or ideas for the capital budget, not operational, but capital, let us know. After the resident request forms are received, they are forwarded to resident council, and your resident council reviews those and prioritizes those requests. Core leadership team members prepare their first draft of their department expenses, which includes an explanation and justification for that expense. So when they do their expenses, if they want any additional money for expenses, they need to justify that and make Felicia and I aware of what the expense is and what it will do for that department and or the residents or staff. Megan Worley, the HR director, Felicia and I work on employee compensation with Megan, preparing a wage analysis and wage comparison, which she's doing for us right now. We use 3 different wage surveys. We use Leading Age Virginia, we use Leading Age South Atlantic region, and then ERI, Economic Research Institute. So we use 3 different wage and comparison models and can get a pretty solid idea of where we need to be for wages for our staff. After the department director submits their budget, they meet individually then with Felicia and I. The board finance committee reviews that budget, and they meet. They also, they look at the first 2 drafts. So we take a draft in, they don't like it, we redraft it, both the operating and the capital budgets. And then the board approves the budget with the recommendation from that finance committee at the November meeting. So any questions about the financial process? I'm sure I didn't do it as energetically as Felicia would have done it, and I probably didn't talk as fast. But she really does enjoy this, and we probably have 3 or 4 more years if the economy continues to hit the bucket. It'll be 4 with her not wanting to retire too soon, but at the same time, she has just really taught the core leadership team so much about budgeting and how important it is and why it is everyone's job other than just her to be able to really focus on that throughout the year, not just at budget time. So any questions at all on anything I covered? Was that enough, Paul? I don't think I have. I don't have any IT except keep your paws off of that. And then
did you take fingerprints?
I thought of that. So it's just too tempting. So, all right, thank you, everyone.
Good morning. Jana's also missed her calling in Hollywood. She was on fire this morning. I don't think I will be. I'm gonna have Kevin and Becky come up to join me. You'll read in the Connections newsletter that we have a lot of moving parts. Today we have the 11th closing of the year, and we already have 5 more scheduled. So this is a big year, 16 closings. Our records was 17 plus 18 Sunrise Ridge. So I don't think we'll get to that level, but we're almost at our 17 records since I've been here. We already have one scheduled for 2023. And some of these are internal moves that will open up some cottages that we already have some interest in, but no reservation. So we're getting moving on those soon. So we may have even a little bit more than 17 this year. So again, really busy with all these closings. We thank the operations team and Jennifer Patterson's doing such a great job, and things are moving along a lot more smoothly now. I'm really happy about that. But then we'll continue to, of course, do our marketing and tours and meetings. And I'll have Kevin talk about how we've been busy keeping people interested, even though we're at almost 99% occupied and reserved now.
Good morning. Okay, between Katie and Jessica and myself, we've had 20 tours and try-it visits in the last 30 days. And these people have come from definitely all over Virginia and around the country as well. Berkeley, California, Lynchburg, Virginia, Winchester, Nevada City, California, Herndon, Virginia, Blacksburg, several from Lexington, Virginia, Greensboro, North Carolina, Arlington, Virginia, Houston, Texas, Clifton Forge, Avon, New York, Reston, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, and Stanton, Virginia. We've added 6 new waitlist members since the last Residents Association meeting. Those came from Blacksburg, Virginia, Avon, New York, Oberlin, Ohio, Roanoke, Virginia, Stanton, Virginia, and Berkeley, California. Those 6 new ones bring us to 39 for this year. Our goal was to add 30 for this year, so we're doing pretty good on that goal. And that puts us at 179 total waitlist members. 36 of them are on the ready list, and I think 3 of those are currently in the process, have reserved, but aren't yet approved. So yeah, we're busy. And we've made reservations on 88 Sycamore, apartment 114, apartment 316. Can't tell you who on any of those because they're all in the process of medical and financial review and approval, but we're moving along. It's kind of exciting to hear 99%.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Katie is actually working with someone closing today, but I want to invite Becky up. Last time I was here, I announced that she'd be joining our marketing team and helping to do administration for the Katie Web. So her real boss is all you, and thanks to John South for doing a lot of the training, but I thought she'd just take a minute to tell you what she's been working on, some changes you may have seen to Katie Web, and just talk to you a little bit.
Hello. Mask. Okay, there we go. Hello. I was at home playing in the dirt in my garden, and I got this phone call with an offer I couldn't refuse. So I'll be here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays for the most part. That will be my days from 9 to 4. One of the good parts of my offer was that would include some flexibility. So don't get mad if I'm not there. Just call me ahead of time, make sure. There is one wrinkle in that you can't dial directly into that little office. You have to call the front desk and she'll transfer you. But what I've been working on so far is to update the staff directory. I've been asked to add pictures of every staff member, which is quite a job since it changes almost daily. Working on that. We've updated the resident directory and the calendar, And they've taught me how to do slides, so I'm doing the slides that go across the top. What else am I doing?
You're doing appointments.
Yes. Like I said, if you need help with Katie, just give me a call, send me an email. I will come to your house, or we'll try to talk it through over the phone. Thanks, I'm glad to be back. Delighted to see all of you.
And of course, she also fills in for Karen when she needs to. She filled in for Stephanie. She'll fill in any open position. We have a couple now. Anyway, Megan was about to leave, but she's next up. So Megan.
Morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm here to give an update on human resources, and my update's going to start with an update on Marlena, my dear HR counterpart. And I'm going to try my best not to get emotional. She once told me that working with me was like being trapped in an episode of I Love Lucy. And Jan told me yesterday that Marlena was going to be up here with me, even if you guys didn't see her up here with me. And right before I came in here, I went to squirt some hand sanitizer, and it literally blew all over my dress. So that told me that Marlena is actually here with me. So, and she would be laughing about that. So, in her stead, this is Unicorn Marlena, because she was truly a unicorn, and she collected Beanie Babies. So I brought a unicorn Beanie Baby with me. So unfortunately, the news for Miss Marlena is not good. The cancer metastasized and has spread to several parts in her body, including her brain. The one amazing thing about Marlena is when I visited her 2 weeks ago in the hospital, the doctors were telling everybody it could be minutes, it could be hours. Well, here we are a week and a half later, and she's proved them all wrong. She's still fighting. So she's an amazing, amazing woman in all senses. And, I miss her right now dearly. She was truly a phenomenal coworker, and the parts of me that I'm not so good at, which there are many, she was able to offset those because she's so intellectually brilliant and articulate woman. And so we'll keep you posted as we know more. But for now, please know that everybody here touched Marlena. Every time I go to see her in the hospital, she asks about everybody and how's Kendall doing and how's this person doing, how's that person doing. And for those of you who may not know, Marlena worked in the Webster Center for 10 years before joining the HR team. So she's been a fixture here for a long time, and a very, very special young woman. So some of these things I'm going to mention were endeavors that were near and dear to her heart. So I thank her for her contribution to the HR team. But I also would like to mention that there was a piece of good news. When I sat down to do Marlena's evaluation with her for the year, I asked her to give me 3 goals for next year, and she really struggled with that because she only had 1 goal for next year. And her goal for next year was to be promoted to a human resources generalist. On the HR team, I don't really like titles. I don't like to think of her as an HR assistant or a generalist. I don't like to think of myself as an HR director. We're just the HR people. But her goal was to be an HR generalist. So Jan and Felicia were kind enough to allow me to promote her. And I gave her that news last Sunday when she was in the hospital, and she was so happy and elated. So I thank you all for that. So Marlena is our new HR generalist. So that was a nice promotion for her. So on to HR initiatives. The #1 challenge for HR remains obviously recruitment and retention. That hasn't changed since COVID. Actually, it was probably the same before COVID, truth be told, but even more so now. Our current employee headcount as of today is 146 employees. This comprises both part-time and full-time employees. This same time last year, we had 137 employees total. We have several current open positions that includes a full-time activities assistant / recreation therapist, a full-time maintenance technician, a full-time cook for Anderson Dining, full-time dishwashers for Anderson Dining, full-time wait staff for Anderson Dining, and part-time wait staff for Anderson Dining, especially for evenings and nights. And the hope is to have those folks work in the restaurant if we can get that reopened. PRN medication aid for assisted living, Webster Assisted Living, a full-time night shift CNA for board and nursing, full and part-time dietary aides for board and nursing, and a full-time day shift LPN or RN for board and nursing. So since August 1st of last year, we have hired 74 individuals. In the past 6 months, we have hired 39 individuals. In the past 3 months, we have hired 33 individuals, and Paul knows because he does orientation, and we keep him very busy with that. So thank you for helping us with that. From August 1st of 2021 through current, our turnover rate across the campus is 48%. Over the past 6 months, the turnover rate has been 22.46%. And over the past 3 months, the turnover rate is 14.43%. When staff are asked and they respond to exit interviews, or when they tell me in person and cite reasons for leaving, they typically said it's mainly due to resignations, but the top reasons are pay, benefits, issues with management, and scheduling. So onward to recruitment and retention. To try to combat some of this challenge, we have recently established relationships with career counselors at 19 different schools, colleges, and universities, especially those who specialize with nursing degrees. We have supported college students through offering internships in finance, accounting, nursing, social work, and IT. We have 2 up-and-coming recruiting job fairs that we have registered so far in September. The fall is usually the busy time for job fairs. One is at Liberty University for nursing, and one is at Radford University, which focuses on nonprofit employment. The top ways that we typically try to recruit talent or are successful at recruiting talent in today's market is through social media, with the top being Facebook. Marlena was very active in keeping our Facebook page up to date and posting jobs and other things out there. That's an area I'm weak because I'm not a big social media person, but when she's not here, Nick has been nice enough to try to jump in and do some job postings for us. Nick, Felicia's intern. Also, number 2 is employee referrals. It's still a very successful program for us, believe it or not. We offer a $500 bonus for people to refer other employees to us, and that's paid out in increments as people serve time with us. Number 3 is Indeed. Number 4 is Career Builder. Number 5 is just people searching the Kendall website. Number 6 is Monster. Number 7 is ZipRecruiter. Number 8 is Leading Age. And number 9 is other smaller job websites that people might go to. So we have a lot of important things coming up in the world of HR. As Jan alluded to, I'm currently working on the compensation benchmarking project. It's a huge undertaking because it involves looking at a lot of facts and figures and analyzing various wages to make sure we are marketable. Then we are also in the process of modeling changes for next year's health and welfare benefits plan. K-Corp kind of drives that ship for us, but we have a lot of autonomy in saying what we do want to do or we don't want to do based upon what we think will be best for our employees. And we are working on important and positive changes to our employee time off plans and policies for next year. And actually, a lot of the suggestions that are going to be implemented came from employee suggestions. We reached out to our employees, we asked them to provide feedback, and we got tons of incredible suggestions. And there was nothing that came to the table that we said, wow, that is outlandish or preposterous, we can't do that. everything was very much doable. So we're implementing the top suggestions that came directly from our employees to make better our time off policy and plan. We are currently working with Wisdom of the Whole Consulting Group on continuing education, learning, and development opportunities for our staff, as well as leadership training and management training for our leadership team. And then we have benefits open enrollment coming up in October. So lots of things keep us busy outside of recruitment and retention. And that's pretty much what I had to say. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Yes, ma'am.
I'm just curious, Megan, for the people who left and who cited wages,
Mm-hmm.
do you know what kind of positions they moved to or?
Some people were working in the world of nursing. As we know, that's very challenging. It's very difficult. And it takes a special person to do that. In many cases, a CNA can go up the road and work in a manufacturing facility, making more money than they would make here as a CNA. So that would be one example of that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? All right, thank you all for your time.
Before she comes up, I will confess that last week I came to, in a very friendly manner, to Judy to invite her to speak at our meeting here. Unfortunately, I had this little soup cup with me. I can't believe I had it in my hand when I was talking. And she focused on that and said, where did that come from? And I will confess, it was in my apartment. But as soon as I saw it, I felt so guilty. I brought it immediately back, and she saw it. That will never happen again. At least I will not see Hannah Judy. But anyway, she's gonna reinforce this, that you will never ever take out a piece of china from that dining room. I hope. But be nice to her.
Just for the record, that was last week and yesterday, I believe.
No.
Oh, yes, it was yesterday. Hi, Zoom. Oh, I'm a little taller. Hi, Zoom. Can you all hear me? This microphone is strange. So Jan stole some of my thunder. I will be wearing my police cap as soon as I go to Walmart and get one in the Halloween section, which is probably out already. We do need to keep that china in. So I ordered 3 cases of soup bowls last week, just so you all know, $3.50 each with shipping. Those little soup bowls. I'll work up the rest of the products if you'd like in the meantime. But today I'm not exactly happy to inform you, but you can't steal anything from me today. Why? I have 3 full-time dishwashers. Today I have no full-time dishwashers. So we are having a picnic without a picnic basket. We're moving to all paper today. It should be the only day, provided one comes back tomorrow. I don't have any other option. I can't do all the dishes myself. I have 2 cooks in the kitchen today. So unfortunately for today, we will be moving to paper. Now, having said that, you guys have 2 options. Back in the day, you used to bring your own china and your own silverware. Maybe today is that day. You are allowed to do your own dishes. Or you may choose to get your recyclables out. I see this resident in the room with me today. She said yesterday, I'd like 2 scoops of ice cream. And I said, is that for here or to go? She said, well, I'm taking it upstairs. And I said, where's your plastic container? She's like, oh, just put it in a bowl. I said, no, I need a plastic container. And with that, she reached into her bag, popped up a bowl, and I said, thank you. I'm sorry, what kind of ice cream did you want? So I have instructed my staff to do the same. If you need ice cream to go, you need to BYOB, bring your own bowl. Any questions for me today? Oh, yes, you need an inventory on tumblers. Hang on, I have that information. Somewhere.
Do you think that a lot of the dishes have been broken in the kitchen?
No, I would say the significant number of product that I'm going through. I got to give you guys a break. I know we don't have the best memory, especially me, but you just can't take the china out. You're going to forget it. It's going to be in the dishwasher for 2 weeks. Then I got to buy more. Housekeeping is very wonderful in cleaning up apartments, but I believe they only do that every 2 weeks. So if 5 of you have 14 bowls, it's a problem for the rest of us. So back in, what are we in? We're in July. 7/21, I took an inventory of tumblers. I had 97. 10 days later, on the 31st, I took another inventory of tumblers. After I collected from Borden, I had 70. Minus 27 tumblers in 10 days. It's almost 3 a day. We can't keep doing this, folks. It's going to reflect next year, because if I'm doing my budget on my purchases, that's part of my operating costs. That's going to go up. But that's up to you. So 8/5, I added 36 tumblers, which gave us a total of 106. I've pleaded my case to everybody in here, and guess what? 8/10, we went up to 131 tumblers. So you tell me, where are they coming from? I got no clue, because these numbers don't add up. So please be very conscientious. Bring your own to-go containers. If you need more, I do have cups available for you to purchase. That's cash dollars. Will show up on your statement at the end of the month from Joyce. If you need more of those Kendall cups to go, they would be $10 each. That's just what I paid for them. So I'm not making any money on that. Any other questions? Yes, Dorothy.
I think, Judy, we didn't stress enough that people can bring their own dishes, be it recyclables or dishes or tumblers or whatever. You can bring your own and take it.
Dorothy recommended that I stress more that we bring our own dishes today, bring your own recyclables, and please utilize what you have. You guys are all independent for the most part. You can't tell me you don't have a soup cup in your cupboard somewhere. I mean, come on. So work with me, please. I beg of you. I do not want to wear that police cap, but as many of you who take more than one piece of fruit do know that I am watching. And you're both. This is not a credit. You do not take 2 today because you weren't here yesterday. Okay, any other questions? Yes?
It's not really a question, but since the China purchases come out of your operating budget,
Yes,
does your operating budget include the food?
Oh, yeah.
So the more you have to purchase China because it walks off and doesn't return, the more that affects the choices available to you in terms of our food availability.
Correct. So the statement is, the more China that I have to buy, does that reflect in what I can purchase for food? Absolutely. If I need to spend $10,000 additional dollars on soup bowls and tumblers and everything else, that's $10,000 I do not have to buy you prime rib, lamb chops, peanut butter and jelly, good. Guess what? I sent an email to Jan last week, I think it was. Dry pasta from Cisco going up 36%. I just saw on the news, tomato product, because the crops are so bad in California, ketchup 27% up. Tomato product is gonna go up another 32%. It's tough, folks. I'm trying to work with it, but I feel like I'm swimming upstream. And when I'm swimming upstream and I ain't got no China, I got nothing to hold on to. Thank you so much.
Really tough talk from usually a mild-mannered woman here. We need her to step up, we need her to comply. Otherwise, we'll be paying for it one way or another. But anyway, next up is Hardin. Gives a little update on Kendall College. Thank you and good morning. Our most recent Kendall College program ended a week ago. And I'm here to tell you that if you missed it, you missed an outstanding program with 3 splendid lectures by Matthew Lohr of Washington and Lee on Greek mythology and its application in the 21st century. We have 2 more programs scheduled before the end of this year. More detailed than what I'm going to give you today will be in Connections in the September and November issues of Connections. But in September, we're having Colonel Keith Gibson from VMI come to speak on the Lewis and Clark expedition, which took place back during Thomas Jefferson's presidency in the early 19th century. The dates for that are September 14, 21, and 28, Wednesdays at 4:30. And then in November, Seth Canty from Washington and Lee is coming back to speak on intelligence, its collection and application and analysis. Seth was here most recently for a program on the Middle East. He's a Washington and Lee professor of politics. Any questions? Well, the dates of that one are November 2nd, 9th, and 16th before Thanksgiving. Thank you very much. Sorry?
Thank you for setting those up, for arranging for them.
Thank you, Dick. Kay, you're up.
Thank you, Paul. For the remainder of this month, the Culture and Entertainment Committee has on this Friday a trip up to Stanton with the bus to go to a free concert at noon, followed by lunch at the Depot Grill. It's always a very popular place, and the concert will last about an hour. There's still room on the bus, should anyone like to go. The Effinger Palmer Ice Cream Festival is coming up. We have a bus going for that. We may end up, if a lot of people sign up, we may end up having the bus come back and pick up more people. And of course, we haven't had this in over 2 years, but it's a very popular event and they take very good care of us. We get our own table and they wait on us. So it's really nice. Next week, Vic is going to give a talk on his big safari to Africa. And it'll be a slideshow and a talk. We hope, yes. Sunday, the 28th of August is a trip to Garth Newell. So far, very few people have signed up. Now, we realize that the problem with Garth Newell is that they changed the time of the concerts to 2 o'clock, which means we have to leave pretty early and it interferes with dinner time on Sundays. So we've made them aware of that, but if you could possibly see your way through to get on the bus and go to Garth Newell, it would be nice. It's a wonderful, wonderful venue. For those of you who are new to Lexington and don't know about it, just ask anybody, especially me or Sarah Giddings, about it. Wednesday, the 31st at 4 p.m., Dallas Clark from VMI is going to be giving a talk. Is Malou here? She is. Malou, would you stand up and say what the talk is on?
I don't have the exact details yet, but the general title was VMI Today.
VMI
He's the
Today.
deputy superintendent at VMI, and there will be a reception afterwards.
Yes, there'll be a reception afterward, and it's VMI Today. Things in the hopper are a karaoke night. SVU singers, that's Southern Virginia University, a group of singers may be coming, possibly going to Frontier Village. Bill Fulton is going to give another talk on something Scottish, I assume. And oh, I'm sorry, I just couldn't read my own writing. We have a resident who spent some time in the Peace Corps in Mali, and she's going to give a talk at some point. And Bruce Summers is going to educate us all about digital currency. Sounds exciting. Okay, I think that's about it. I welcome any subjects that you all might have. What I see.
Kendall Singer, September the 8th.
Kendall Singers on what?
September the 8th, we have a concert.
September the 8th, concert by Kendall Singers, and those are always fun. So please come. And thank you very much. I welcome any ideas that you all may have for programs.
And now we have our semi-annual talk, Trash Talk from the Queen of Trash here. Robin's gonna come up and tell us what's going on in the trash area here.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Pajama Land. For those of you who are new, can you hear? Okay, we collect roadside trash twice a year, spring and fall. Out on Enfield Road, we do a 2-mile stretch and we have fun, right? Hey. And because I'll be going away for a couple of weeks, I just wanted to let you know that the next collection is scheduled for September 24th. We meet about 9 o'clock or in the morning. There will be more details in the upcoming connections, and I will be here to pester you in September. There will be a sign-up sheet on the way down to the dining room, and we have a lot of fun. We have courtesy of Judy and marketing. We have a free lunch afterwards, and we look for the strangest things in the world. In addition to that, I just want to tell you that we have a new recycling opportunity. Somebody, a resident, contacted me. What do I do with dry cleaner hangers? And that person had a whole box of them or something. So if you have old wire hangers, wire only, I just put a sign in the coat room behind Karen, or next to Karen, I should say, where you put your dry cleaning and where you leave it and pick it up. Or if you go to another dry cleaner and you have extra hangers that you don't want, there's a sign next to or above the rod on the left-hand side of that coat closet,
And you'll see there are some hangers there, just add them to those. And I believe right now it's university cleaners who will pick them up and reuse them. And they have said that they will take any wire hangers. They do not want wooden hangers or plastic hangers. But we'll see how that goes. And that's it. Any questions?
And now one of our final speakers is Anita on sustainability.
Thank you, Paul. Good morning. And good morning to you. I was saying good morning to the people in Zoom land, but good morning to you as well. I know you get tired of seeing me up here talking about plastic film. So let me say first that sustainability is also, you can hide that for a minute. Sustainability is also working on a number of other issues, not only with Robin in terms of trash pickup, but also looking at utility use here on campus long-term. We've got folks working with Felicia to begin to track our carbon footprint in terms of what we're doing that we might be able to do in other ways in order to modify the impact we have on the environment. But part of what I want to do is talk to you about plastic film again. Our third bench has been ordered. And if you read connections, you'll know some of this. So the first bench is out at the back entrance to Webster. It's green. Our second bench right now is temporarily down by the creek until it can be taken up onto Hickory Hill. The third bench that, as I said, has been ordered will also go up on the walkway, the pathway up to Hickory Hill. We're working on the fourth bench. Right now, we just started it not quite a month ago, and we only need 416 more pounds. We need to average 85 pounds a month. And so we're on target for the first month. But if we can increase that, that's even better, because then we can order sooner. And it's now taking 10 to 14 weeks for the production and delivery of one of the benches. But what I wanted to say to you is, please, I appreciate truly, as do we all, at getting benches. And so I appreciate your participation in the program. But what I don't appreciate is when I have to stand there and take out stuff. A couple of weeks ago, it included a dirty diaper. I'm serious. Plastic tubing for oxygen. That's not plastic film. I was going to show you a great big PowerPoint until the software didn't work. So Edward's going to stand someplace, and the Zoom people have it because Kevin can do that on his computer. On Monday, I had to take out of the collection in the alcove clamshells, a cake base and plastic cover, the container for the strawberries that went with it, and the whipped cream container for the rest of the cake. None of that goes in plastic film. I had to take out 5 different sets of 6-pack rings, you know, the nice plastic rings. That is not plastic film. I took out Oreo packages, a bunch of Boost labels that someone has very nicely cut off their packet, their bottles of Boost, but those are crinkly plastic. That's not plastic film. I took out prepackaged salad bags, not plastic film, specifically prohibited. I took out bags that had food residue in them.
not acceptable. Even if the bag were acceptable, it's not acceptable if it's got crumbs and other stuff in it. And I'm not emptying out the crumbs, folks. And I took out at least one mesh bag. This one had tasteful little potatoes in it. But mesh is not plastic film. So I really, really enjoy picking up the plastic film and seeing it turned into a bench. I do not enjoy having to stand there and literally pick through and put on the floor, which is where this picture was taken, on the floor in the alcove, pick through stuff that on the flyers very clearly doesn't belong. So I know I sound like Judy or Jan, although not as humorous, in terms of saying, please, but please, we're making real progress. Normally it takes a year to get 2 benches. We will have 3, maybe 4 within a year and a half because of your work. But could you make mine just a little easier, please? Thank you.
Another downer. We're gonna have to stop inviting these people, Judy and Anita. I don't know, but anyway, I have 4 minutes I've allocated to myself. It was mentioned, you all received a notice to submit your 23 capital budget recommendations to the administration. That's due next week. So if you think we should be spending money on a capital improvement, please fill it out and turn it in. Because if there's no input from the residents, obviously the administration will decide what the capital improvements are. So it's important that we also give our input. So make sure you fill out that form there. One of the things I will mention is the staff lounge. You know, they moved the staff lounge from where it was here, where the new clinic is, downstairs to the first floor, Cox Hall, where housekeeping is. That needs work. I mean, if you were a staff member and this is where you want to come for your break or lunch, it's not very conducive. And I would put that on my list. And I think if all of you could list that as a need to improve the staff lounge, they really need to put in flooring, lower the ceiling, and put some furnishings there, maybe build some walls. If enough of us list that, maybe that'll get on the capital budget. That's one item that I can think of. Anyway, unfortunately, that we're also, well, it's not unfortunate, but we're also asking for money again. This is to support the committees, the standing committees and the interest groups here that we have at Kendall. We ask for money once a year to fund these committees. We're only asking for $10,000. That's our budget. And that comes to about, I think we said $60 per resident. We ask you if you could write a check for $60 a piece so that we have sufficient funding so that our committees can operate next year. So we're not asking for $1 million, just $60 for the once a year. We ask for that. Unfortunately, we ask for other funds as well, but that's the nature of the game. The other thing is volunteers. You know, I think everyone should be involved in volunteering in some capacity here at Kendall. I mean, this is a community where I know we're all retired, and somebody said, I came here to retire and not to do anything else. Well, unfortunately, that's not going to work. We have a need. The administration cannot run this facility by themselves, nor do we want them to run this facility by themselves. We're all involved here. This is a community, and we need everyone's participation. Now, we're always looking for people to join the committees, to be conveners, to be on the council, and other more not high pressure, more involved type of work. But also, we're looking for volunteers to sit for 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon, from 1 to 3 or 3 to 5. We have sufficient number of volunteers for Saturday. We're fully covered for Saturday for the 10 to 4. Thank you very much for signing up for that, but I need more people to volunteer once a month for 2 hours to sit at Karen's desk. And that's so that when people walk in the door, the pizza delivery guy or a guest who doesn't know where their friend or relative is located, so you can greet them. Or somebody just drives in, what is Kendall all about? At least there's somebody there to talk to them. So 2 hours of sitting at a desk shouldn't be that much of an effort on anybody's part. Whether you can use a walker or run or whatever it is, I think somebody should be able to do that. Obviously, not everyone can volunteer, but that's a position that I think won't take very much time. 2 hours once a month. That's all I'm asking for. The other one's a little more involved is projectionists. Now, Cleve has been running that for many years now, and he needs additional projectionists to show movies. If we're going to continue to have movies, well, we can't have them now, but when we have movies on Monday and Thursday, we need projectionists. We need people to come in here and set up the movie and run the show. And you will be trained. And that's not every single week, but it depends how many projections we have. You may be called upon once a month to do that. So we're looking for people to do that. That's a little more involved, but there's somebody here that would be able to do that. So think about that as well. So these are a couple of the volunteer positions that I think we need to fill. So that hopefully that everybody is involved somehow in a committee and some type of volunteer position so that we can better run this facility here and for the benefit of all of us here. Anyway, I don't know if that's a high or a low. That's probably not very high. Does anybody have something really exciting that we can talk about that really? Well, there's still some scones, I hope, out there, some fruit out there. So please go out there and finish that because we don't want to give that back to Judy. Not after she talked the way she talked to us today. We're gonna eat all that food out there. Take it back with you in a napkin or whatever. Thank you very much for coming. I hope to see you next month.